There is a McDonald's in this town where you can order your fries in one country and eat them in another. No, that's not a joke. That's just Tuesday in Baarle. Welcome to Baarle-Nassau or Baarle-Hertog, depending on which side of the sidewalk you happen to be standing on. Because here's the thing about this place. It isn't really one town, it's two towns, wearing the same coat, sharing the same streets, and constantly, gloriously confused about who's in charge. One is Dutch, one is Belgian, and the border between them doesn't just run around the town, it runs through it. Through streets, through shops, through people's living rooms, literally. There are houses in Baarle where the family eats dinner in Belgium and sleeps in the Netherlands. Imagine telling your in-laws you can't help with the dishes because, technically, the sink is in another country. So how did this happen? Let's rewind about 800 years because of course the answer involves medieval nobility being petty. Back in the Middle Ages, the Duke of Brabant and the Lord of Breda made a series of land deals, trades, and gambling-style property swaps over this patch of land. Some parcels went to the Duke, some stayed with local lords loyal to Breda, and instead of tidying this up into two neat little towns like reasonable people, everyone just left it, tangled. While the rest of Europe was busy redrawing borders after wars and treaties and revolutions, Baarle just sat there like the drawer in your kitchen nobody wants to organize. And when Belgium finally became independent from the Netherlands in 1830, you'd think, okay, now they'll sort this out. They did not. They looked at the mess, shrugged, and said, it's fine, in the most stereotypically calm, bureaucratic Benelux way possible. If you want to know what happens next, be sure to subscribe my channel so you don't miss any of my interesting videos. Today, there are officially 30 enclaves of Belgian territory sitting inside the Netherlands here, and a handful of Dutch pockets sitting inside those Belgian pockets, like some kind of geopolitical Russian nesting doll designed by a caffeinated committee. And the way you know which country you're in isn't a wall, or a river, or a checkpoint, with a stern guard demanding your papers. It's a series of small white crosses embedded in the pavement. You could be walking down the street, sipping your coffee, and cross from the Netherlands into Belgium 4 times before you finish it, without ever noticing, if it weren't for the little crosses under your feet. Somewhere, a Dutch city planner is having a small aneurysm about the lack of a spreadsheet for this. Now, here's where the stereotypes really earn their keep. Because Belgium and the Netherlands, despite sharing a language in this region, love to gently mock each other, and Baarle is basically that rivalry turned into a functioning town. Dutch houses in Baarle-Nassau follow Dutch rules, Dutch electrical codes, Dutch business hours, Dutch taxes. Belgian houses follow Belgian rules, different taxes, different shop closing times, and let's be honest, historically a much more relaxed approach to things like alcohol licensing. For decades, this meant Belgian shops could sell fireworks and stay open later, while the Dutch had stricter closing hours. So what did enterprising shop owners do? If your front door happened to be on the Belgian side of the house, that's the door you used at 10 o'clock at night when you suddenly needed a bottle of wine. One family, one home, 2 nationalities, and a very convenient, exploitable technicality. If that isn't the most Belgian/Dutch solution to a bureaucratic problem in history, I don't know what is. Not fighting the rule, just quietly walking around it through a different door. And then there's the house numbering system, which sounds boring until you hear it. Because a house that straddles the border needs to know which country its front door is legally in, so for years they used the position of the front door to assign nationality. So when a family wanted to become Belgian instead of Dutch, maybe for lower taxes, maybe just for fun, who knows, some of them genuinely moved their front door. Not moved house, moved the door, bricked one up, cut a new one in a different wall, and boom, congratulations, you're now legally a different nationality without packing a single box. Try explaining that one at a dinner party outside of Baarle. Oh yeah, we're Belgian now. We just relocated the door. The town itself leans hard into this identity. Walk around and you'll see the little white border crosses set into the ground everywhere, some with the letters N, L, and B stamped right next to them, like the town is politely reminding you, yes, you really did just change countries mid-sentence. House numbers even have small flags on them so postal workers know which country's mail service to use, because naturally, you can't just have one postal system when you could have 2 competing ones next door. Somewhere out there, a Dutch mail carrier and a Belgian mail carrier deliver letters to houses that are, structurally speaking, the same building. This split personality trickles into everyday life in ways that sound made up but aren't. Different school systems for Dutch kids and Belgian kids, sometimes literally across the street from each other. Different police forces technically responsible for different patches, which for a long time meant some genuinely bizarre situations, like a shop being robbed and the thief simply stepping over a painted line into the other country's jurisdiction to avoid the officer who couldn't legally follow. Eventually, the two police forces just started cooperating properly because apparently even Belgian and Dutch bureaucracy have a limit to how much chaos they'll tolerate. And through all of this, the town somehow works. Restaurants serve their fries with mayonnaise on the Belgian side and also mayonnaise on the Dutch side, because let's not pretend the stereotype about Belgians and their sacred devotion to fry sauce hasn't fully infected the neighbors by now. What's genuinely remarkable, once you look past the jokes, is how peacefully this all functions. Two countries, two governments, two sets of laws tangled into one small town of about 9,000 people. And instead of constant conflict, you get a slightly confusing but charming tourist town with excellent waffles and a very active border crosses in the sidewalk photo opportunity. There's something almost quietly beautiful about it. Proof that a border doesn't have to be a wall, a fence, or a fight. Sometimes it can just be a painted line that a Dutch grandmother steps over to buy fireworks from her Belgian neighbor, and everybody goes back to their coffee. So if you ever find yourself in the southern Netherlands or the northern edge of Belgium, depending on how you want to phrase it, take a detour to Baarle. Stand with one foot in the Netherlands and one foot in Belgium. Order fries. Argue about whether mayonnaise or ketchup is correct, even though we all secretly know the answer. And remember, somewhere under your feet, there's a little white cross quietly doing more work to keep the peace than most international treaties ever have. Don't forget to subscribe, because if you ever end up stuck between two countries, watching my videos can surely help.